Hello, how are you? This is Rachel, Yarn Equals Joy podcast. I'm filming from my rooftop terrace because I've spent way too much time inside, as many of you probably have. I've been teaching remotely in front of a screen, and I haven't had as much time as I thought I would to podcast and some of the other things, but I have had knitting time snuck in here and there, and so I have a lot to show you. And I just thought it would be nice for all of us in the midst of this brave new world to have a change of scenery. So we're outside on my terrace. The sun is coming in and out. It's a little windy, so that may be a bit of a challenge, but it's one of those rare days in Houston where it feels like it could be summer, but you can actually sit outside, because when we have real summer, it's really hot. So welcome. I have my trusty board. So this is episode number 19 of the Yarn Equals Joy podcast. I am Rachely Book Girl on Instagram and Rachely on Ravelry, and I have Joan Magbags on Etsy, though I have not been really active with that lately. So please reach out. I love that we have new subscribers, thanks to Corey at iRock Knits, and I can't remember for some reason the name of the lovely gal who, I think her name is Emily, who also did a shout out. I want to say Harry meets Sally, and it's not that. It's something about me and Oni or something. Anyway, I apologize, but I am doing well to just have all of the stuff up here, hopefully in one place. We'll see if it actually happens. So we have a lot to go through, and I usually like to keep these under 30 minutes, so I'm going to try to see if I can do that. I don't have a ton of whips that I've brought up because some of them have not gotten a lot of love in the last few weeks and wouldn't look all that different. But I do, as I said, have 3 FOs. So I'm going to start with the first one, which I'm going to call From Fail to Faux. From Fail to Faux because it was started out as a Bonjour High cowl, which is a pattern by Espace Tricot. And somehow I got in my own rhythm and didn't really follow the directions very carefully when you were supposed to change needle sizes, and what was supposed to sort of be this luxurious, glorious, spread out wrap over your shoulders kind of thing kept looking really small. So I figured out that that was not really going to work. So I ended up using that as the bottom instead of the top, and then going in the opposite direction and making it smaller and tighter and making it a cowl. And it actually came out really beautifully, I think. And I think it will be a gorgeous, I'll stand up and show you how long it is. I think it'll be a beautiful gift for one of my sisters for Hanukkah. It's really soft because I held, let me tell you what the yarn is. I held Sugar Plum Circus in the Paradisco color, and then Rowan Kid Silk Haze in this sort of off-whitish mushroomy color, which I've used for everything. I had a ton of it, and I just have been using it. And as you can see, this was a really bright color, and it's still really bright, but it's a little more muted. I didn't like the way this was rolling up when it came off the needles, but I aggressively blocked it, and we'll see how long that lasts. But I don't want to put it on now because I've got lip gloss, and it'll stick to all of the mohair. But it did look really, really nice on. It was a really nice shape, and I could see kind of mimicking it again to make another one, because it just came out beautifully. So I'll have to sort of try to figure out what I did. I sewed in one of my little Rachel's Wool and Love tags just to make it finished for a gift, and that is good to go. My second project is the Dassault cowl, so I'm standing up, I might as well continue. This is for my son who lives in New York, who should be a knitwear model. He wears the stuff so much and loves it. And this also has a little label. You can see on the other side, upside down, it has my initials. And this is really scrumptious. Scrumptious. It was made out of Quince & Co. Lark in 2 different colors. The Dassault cowl is a pattern by Carrie Bostic Hogue. It's really thick and yummy and will keep the wind off in northeastern winter, and I'm really excited about that. And my third FO, and I'm gonna get hair out of my face, if that's possible in this wind. My third FO is something I'm really proud of because I am not a big sweater knitter. I have knit one sweater that's sort of a fail that I still haven't finished, another that's barely started on the needles, a couple baby sweaters, a flax for myself which is finished and I wear and I love, but not a lot. And I was inspired to try something chunky because my soon-to-be daughter-in-law really loves that look. And I tried this, it's the Strathcona Strathcona sweater by Tara Lynn Morrison. It's Strathcona. And it has, like 3/4 length sleeves that have a little bit of ribbing on the end. It was super simple. I cannot tell you how squishy this is. I was really nervous about working with these big needles and everything, but oh my God, it came out so well. I hope she wears it and loves it. It'll be oversized and squishy and a little bit cropped and a color that I think you can wear with a lot of things. The yarn was not expensive yarn because I knew I would need a lot of that bulky size, so I used Pacifica, which is a Cascade yarn, and then I used the Rowan Kid Silk Haze in that sort of mushroomy color, which was the same that I'd used in the Fail to Faux cowl. So those are my 3 FOs. I'm super, super proud of all of them. They are all gifts. For those of you who've been watching before, and let me say right now, thank you for watching. If you've been watching all along, wow, you've seen some pretty silly stuff. And if you're new, thanks for finding me in the middle of this podcasting pandemic, where podcasts have taken on an even greater role in many of our lives, mine included. So thank you. Those are 3 FOs. As you know, I do like making things for other people, and as I said at the last podcast, I think this is going to be a pretty woolly Hanukkah because I will have a lot stored up to give as gifts, so I'm excited about that. So I just have 2 whips because I have some other stuff that I want to talk about. As many of you have, I've been going through some bags and trying to look at, sort of old whips and see why they're still lingering and if I really want them. And I can't find the information at the moment, but there was a cowl and it was a really delicate color work pattern and I really liked it. But because I was using 2 yarns that sort of had some subtle variation in them, one was speckled and one was a pink that I'm going to show you in a minute, it just wasn't popping in the way that I would have liked. And then the final straw was that I actually noticed that I had made a mistake near the end, and I could have taken it out, but I thought I wasn't loving it anyway. So I ripped it out. It ripped out beautifully. And then I found this simple cable pattern. It's called the First Cable Hat by Brooklyn Tweed. And the nice thing about this is they then released an additional addendum of things that you could do to modify it. And I just did the basic, but I could see doing it over and over again. It's super simple. It has an extra long brim because it's going to be folded up, and it's really pink and squishy and will probably be a gift for someone as well. I don't know if the lighting is working, you can really see, but it's a very simple, easy cable. And because I finally learned how to do cabling without the cable needle, I've managed to do that as well. This yarn is, it's Fuse Fiber Studio. I'm not sure she's still dying. I may have heard that they weren't. I don't know. Please don't take my word for it. Check it out because she has beautiful yarn. This is the Merino DK in Hibiscus. And also I just want you to show you, I mentioned that I had this Sprocket HP little printer and I was making notes. I've also decided to use it to add notes to my, add visual illustrations to my podcasting journal so that I can remember what the FOs were. So anytime I have an FO, I'm trying to take a picture and stick it in there. So that's my first FO. And then before I do Stashing the Joy, my second FO is in, whoops, there goes my tea. Okay. So more Corona purchases. I couldn't resist. I saw on Instagram that Espace Co had these little Hohe & Co bags. I had gotten a Hohe & Co bag. I didn't even really know what this was when I was buying it. I thought it had that sort of rose gold metallic on it. It doesn't, but it's beautiful and it's fine, and I'm using it to store my new sock project, which is just a vanilla sock in this super bright color by Knitterly Things Vesper sock in Happy Accident, I think. Let's see. Yes, Happy Accident is the colorway. And you can see it has bright, bright colors. I'm not really a sock knitter. I've had some bad experiences with socks just not fitting, or people not really liking them, or me not really loving knitting them. But I wanted to try again, and this was the perfect sock bag. So I'm trying to do it and make myself take notes so that I can finally figure out what I like in socks. So that's that. And that will move us right to the more Stashing the Joy. So I have ordered some things for a variety of reasons. Some people are putting up sales, which is really nice in the midst of everyone sort of not knowing what their economic situation is going to be. Hold on, I need an iced tea. Thank you. Sorry. And so Brooklyn Tweed was doing something that was especially nice. They were giving a discount either through stores that carried them, or you could go to their website and sort of send the credit to your local yarn shop, or really any yarn shop. And gosh, I can't imagine what it must be like to own a yarn shop right now and to have to close, and all the things that you were doing for community, like knit nights and having people stream in and look for samples and have the samples out there so they would purchase. It's just a totally new world for them. So I think Brooklyn Tweed, which is gorgeous yarn, giving us a benefit and also giving them a benefit, was just brilliant. And I ordered something that is really different than what I would normally order. It is a sweater's worth quantity of Shelter in Button Jar, which is this gorgeous green with flecks of like blue and yellow. And so many, many years ago, like I don't even want to tell you how many, when I was about 15, 16, I went on a trip to Europe with a group, and my parents had given me some money to spend, and I was a nervous Nelly about spending the money and ending up without money when I needed it. So I saved my money through this whole glorious tour of countries, and by the time we got to England, which was the last stop, I had a lot of money. And that was good because I found wool sweaters that I fell in love with, and I bought these two woolly sweaters. I think they were turtlenecks. They were a little scratchy, but absolutely gorgeous. They were kind of tweedy. One was green and one was brown. And those, again, are not even my favorite colors, but they've long since disappeared. I didn't need them much growing up in Texas, but I did go to college in Massachusetts, and I remember having them and loving them then. but I think that was sort of the beginning of my obsession with wool and wooliness. And so when I saw this green, I just thought, you know, I don't have any green really in my wardrobe, and I think it'll be fun and it will be a great sweater. But if you have an idea of a sweater that would be good in Brooklyn tweed shelter, that's pretty basic, not tons of bells and whistles, top down, not hard, I would love to hear it. I don't want to do the flax again, even though it was wonderful. I've done that. I'm looking at the Felix. That's a possibility, although I'm not sure it's with worsted. But anyway, if you have something that you're thinking of, or you've done something with shelter that came out really well and wasn't particularly complex, let me know. That would be great. Thank you. And then the other thing I ordered was from the Knot House Yarns. They have a lovely podcast. It's a mother and daughter. If you haven't seen it, go check them out. And I love watching their podcasts, and they seem to have a lovely store, though I have never been there. But I've just connected with them through online, through their podcasts and all of that, and I wanted to support them during this, and they have gorgeous yarns. So I ordered a couple things. I ordered this Olan in this hot pink called Britain, which is their single, and I'm really into singles right now, and that is just as bright as it looks. And then they dye their own brand of Knot House yarns, and this is the Mauve Debonair in Shrimp Scampi, which is an insanely gorgeous color with pinks and a little bit of oranges, and I just love it. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll work on a Sorel sweater, which you can fade and use. I have tons of single skeins of singles or sock yarn, which would work. So that's that. And then I've been making masks as everybody else is. I'm not a great sewist, but I've been trying. This one was made with, you can see that's how it fits. This one was made with ties that I just made from the fabric, and then I realized I had from bag making. Okay, I got bumped off. I thought I figured out how not to get bumped off while I was podcasting, because I ended up using this do not disturb, and it still bumped me off. So if anybody knows the secret of how to not get bumped off, now I'm gonna have to do what I tried to figure out last time and connect these two videos. Anyway, I'm almost done. So I got the beautiful yarn from the Knot House, and then as I started to say when I got cut off, I've been making some simple masks, and I've been giving them to friends and family who needed them. They are not great, you know, I followed sort of the simple advice of how you make the pleats. I think they would work, you know, basically if we're still sort of keeping distance, but as I think I've said, I've been really just staying home, ordering groceries online, and taking this very seriously. Just to talk about it for a minute, I've alluded to the fact that I'm a teacher and I'm doing remote learning, and one sort of hidden benefit of remote learning is that the kids seem super appreciative of what we're doing, and that is really nice to have the sense that the kids, that they really recognize that we are out of our element, that we are doing things that we have never done before, and there's a level of appreciation that I really honestly haven't seen often from students in high school, and so that's been really nice. On a more difficult note, my dad is in an independent living facility. We have not been able to see him. I have two sisters here. We all talk to him often, and we are doing everything we can remotely to make sure he's okay and comfortable, but it is really frustrating and difficult to not be able to see him. We did do a Passover Seder online with some family, which was surreal, but my dad was enormously appreciative of that. I jerry-rigged things because he couldn't quite, figure out the computer stuff, so I got FaceTime on his phone, and then I put that on the tripod facing the computer where everyone else was, and, it worked. Necessity is the mother of invention, and mother, not father. Okay, So sharing the joy, I sent off a package. I figured out another new skill. I figured out how to weigh things and send them on my own, and then I could just drive through the post office and stick it in the box. So that worked, and that seemed to get to her. So I'm excited that she got her yarn. And then we had another skein that we were giving away this week, and this is Knit Style Yarns. That's Sharon. She has a great podcast too. It's super happy and silly and fun, and it's called Glitter Party, and this is her trendy sock base. And I had, I think, 15 people who had left comments, so I put 1 to 15 into the random generator, and it came out with 12, and that's Grace Edwards. And Grace, I think that was your first podcast to watch, so you must be a lucky lady to watch for the first time and win a pretty skein of yarn. So Grace, if you would find me on Instagram and leave me a private message, that's the best place to really get in touch with me. So if you could find me on Instagram, leave me a message of your address, and then I don't know how soon I'll get to the post office again, but when I do, I will mail you the yarn. And because everybody is happy to have a little pick-me-up these days, we have another thing of yarn today to give away. This is a little unusual because this is Evil Little Goat in this gorgeous pink with some purple and some green, and it's called Pinball Wizard. It is her bouncy sock, which is 85 merino, 15 nylon. It's a 4-ply fingering. Again, really pretty summer color or spring color, any time color in Pinball Wizard. I think Evil Little Goat, there was sort of a mystery surrounding her. I think she stopped dying, and then people sort of couldn't contact her, and I don't know what the story was there, but anyway, I don't think you can get that yarn anymore. So this is a skein of Evil Little Goat for whoever is interested. And then we have other kinds of joy, and I'm just going to look at my notes to see what I wanted to tell you. So everybody's watching Tiger Kings. I did too. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy in the way that if you want to forget about the COVID and the virus and the crazy things going on in the world right now, you will. You will get totally enmeshed and immersed in this weird, wacky world of these strange people who keep these exotic beasts as pets, and it's weird. So watch it if you want. It's really weird, but it will keep your attention. And then there's a really sweet series that's older, again, going back to my love of all things British. It is starring the British comedian Martin Clunes, and it's called William and Mary. It's on Amazon Prime. I think there are 3 seasons. It did not have a long run, I don't think, but it was really darling. And he's an undertaker, she's a midwife, so they sort of realize when they meet that they cover both ends of the human experience. And they're both kind of extraordinary people, not perfect people, definitely flawed people, but there's just something really special about that show, and I think if you saw it, you probably would really enjoy it. And then I'm still on a Lisa Jewell kick. I talked about her last time. I've since read Then She Was Gone, which I really liked, and also The Girls in the Garden, which probably was not, I didn't love it as much as I loved I Found You. That is still my favorite. And I'm reading a 4th now, which I think is called The Family Upstairs. So if you like mysteries, if you like people who write really well about humans and relationships, check it out. They're page turners, and they're well written, and they're not terribly long, but they're long enough, and we need all the entertainment we can get right now. So keep knitting, keep watching podcasts, keep helping people in every way that you can. I know that one of the people who commented said that she was mowing her elderly neighbor's lawn. And I just thought that was really sweet. And I think anything we can do to help each other right now is what we are meant to do. So keep knitting, keep reading, keep watching podcasts, and finding time to do the things you love. As my father always says, and I have been saying a lot since this began, this too shall pass. Bye. See you later.